Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us here, everybody. Um, I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate your decision to spend your time here with us. Um, if you paid money to be here and you haven't, you didn't like what we were giving to you, we would just happily give you your money back. But your time is not something that we can refund to you. And so I treat it as being extremely valuable and don't intend to waste it. And again, I'm incredibly grateful that you have decided to spend such incredible value with us. And I intend to share some value in return. All right, so let me share my screen and jump straight. Oh, by the way, you're going to want to stick around not only for what I have to say, because what I have to say is extremely valuable. It is a gift, in fact, a gift for humanity. And it's very significant. Once you hear what it is, you're going to probably want everyone in your life, at the very least, who is significant to you, to learn about it as well. But we're going to hear a very significant story from a very significant gentleman who has been able to not only change lives of tens of thousands of people in very significant ways, but his story is incredible, not just for what he's done for others, but also for what this breakthrough has done for him. Not just bettering and changing his life, but literally giving him his life back. And in that regard, he is just one story out of many hundreds of thousands. So make sure you tune into to his story. Oh, 8 p.m. in London, that's a good time. That's a very good time. All right, so let me jump straight into this for you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stevie Aquilina, and in case you couldn't tell by my Crocodile Dundee accent, my family and I, we live in Australia. We're originally from Sydney, but now we live on the Gold Coast. And that was a dream come true, and we can make that happen. We're minutes from beautiful beaches, mountains, rainforests, coastal cities, theme parks. We love it. I'm very blessed and very grateful for my life and an income, time, and freedom that allows me to enjoy a great lifestyle with my family. It's also taken us to many parts around the world that were once way too far out of my reach. But you know, the truth is the good vibes and good times have not always been the case. I was a difficult, awkward, and weird child to parent in school. I never made the grades. I was an average to below average achiever at best. I was often told I was stupid and useless, and that was on a daily basis. And I figured out when you're told something often enough, especially while you're young and impressionable enough on top of that, you kind of start to believe it. And so later on, I became a teenage runaway and a high school dropout. And with that kind of thinking, I just walked myself way off track on life's journey throughout my teens and 20s. I had more than 20 different jobs in less that time. And for over a decade, I was a very dumb but very good looking bouncer in what used to be the most popular nightclubs in Sydney. Okay, kidding about the good looking part, but not about the dumb part. I was a daydreamer, and I had big dreams. I wanted to be, do, and have more. I really wanted to give more, actually. But the problem was, even though I was a daydreamer, my strength wasn't being a daydream believer. I had little self-esteem, little confidence. And so I'd done little with my life and felt like I had little to give. Physically, I've always been athletic, mainly in martial arts. But back then, I had health troubles, autoimmune disorder, inflammatory issues, severe skin, respiratory, and gut conditions most of my life. Lots of bad injuries. To look at me, you wouldn't think it, but I was kind of falling apart. And financially, I got myself stuck in go nowhere jobs with hopes going nowhere, no prospects, no financial security, no financial dignity. Now, I'm about to tell you an embarrassing story of being very embarrassingly broke. Being behind, I've had the phone, electricity, and gas cut off. I've not been able to run my car on anything more than just the fumes of petrol, if I could afford even that to run it at all. I've not been able to make the rent, and I've been evicted. And this has all happened to me several times. I mean, embarrassingly broke, no financial dignity. I always believed in possibilities, but doubted my potential. And with that kind of mix up, I was confused, trapped, unfulfilled, unhappy, and frustrated, and unable to be who I wanted to be. Now, as for some good things that have happened in my life, first, I met the girl of my dreams. And right then and there, I was motivated more than ever before to become more. She believed in me and always told me that I was more. She is the beautiful mother of now my 4 beautiful boys. who also look up to me and believe in me too. And I guess when you're told something often enough, right? Now, also, I was introduced to this company's life-changing breakthrough, opportunity, ethos, culture, and training. Life-changing. The company leaders are extremely successful people. They believed in me too and taught me how to believe and become more. Now today, instead of having health and wealth problems, I've solved them, and I have the honor of helping others solve them too because of this life-changing breakthrough. And instead of financial insecurity and indignity, embarrassment, I have security, I have dignity because of this life-changing opportunity. And I'm honored to help others with that too. And instead of being trapped, unfulfilled, unhappy, frustrated, confused, unable to be who I want to be, I now have the ability to believe and become more and give more because this company's training has shown me a life-changing, better way. And now I want to spend the rest of my life doing nothing more than bettering people's lives in at least any one of these life-changing ways too. And so first, what I'm going to share with you is the life-changing breakthrough. This is the most significant health and life science breakthrough of our lifetime. Now, medical experts say this, and they're saying it's a very big breakthrough, greater than the discoveries of DNA or penicillin. For 2 decades, science had declared this was impossible, by the way. However, this breakthrough is a breakthrough with enormous potential, proven by renowned universities and world-leading laboratory medical studies, a very advanced breakthrough, 15 years ahead of its time, and any health goals or challenges or problems you can think of, remarkable results. And drug companies wanted it shut down, but more about that a little later. Before I tell you what this is, let's be clear about what this is not, because this is nothing like anything else you've ever seen before. What we'll be talking about goes well beyond drugs or nutrition, well beyond any type of ingredients or technology you already know about, because what I'm about to show you is an entirely new frontier in science that is truly groundbreaking and a category-creating healthcare breakthrough. The Discover Redox cell signaling technology is a drink, and this contains active redox signaling molecules. And aside from being a mouthful, what are those? Well, redox signaling molecules are made by your cells. So they are made within your body. So they are native to your body. They are your cellular messengers that affect your cell-to-cell communication and therefore your cell-to-cell operation and all of your functions. I mean, all the way down to your genetic expressions in a positive way. Redox signaling is a remarkable process because it is the actual process that empowers your body to heal itself by telling your cells how to protect healthy cells, repair unhealthy cells, and or replace damaged cells. Redox signaling molecules also activate your body's immune system to protect against bacteria, viruses, and infection. Bottom line is, redox signaling is what keeps cells functioning and healing at optimal levels. Now, why is this also all important? Because we are all made entirely of cells. We live and die, therefore, at the cellular level. Healthy cells means a healthy body and a healthy life. But what's keeping the cells healthy, knowing how to be healthy, is redox signaling molecules. They are the keys to life because they are essential for the activation and function of our normal physiology. Now, I mean all of our body's major systems, biochemical and physiological processes, all of it critically depends on redox signaling. Critically. Because if all of your cells were to suddenly stop making redox signaling molecules right now, you wouldn't live longer than just a few more mere seconds. Without your redox signaling molecules, life ends. So if our bodies already make redox signaling molecules, then why do we need to have this drink and give our bodies more? Well, when we're born, we do make an abundance of redox signaling molecules. That's generally why children have so much energy and how they can run around all day and not wake up sore the next one. Have you noticed that? And also how they can bounce back so quickly from an injury or illness. However, as we age, along with stress, poor diet, toxins, and all sorts of other environmental assaults, both man-made and natural, our cells break down and our bodies break down too, since that's all they're made of. And our body's ability to make redox molecules declines daily. Without as many of these redox signaling molecules giving clear cell signals and instructions, our whole cellular protection and healing process becomes slow. Our cells break down more and more, and so does our health, wellness, youth, and vitality. ASEA takes science seriously and is highly committed to ongoing research with renowned universities and world-leading laboratories, allowing these outside and independently reviewed studies to prove the potential of ASEA Redox signaling supplements, demonstrating the safety and efficacy of the ASEA Redox products and certifying them as safe and effective in everybody. And ASEA is within a very real and significant space of science. Redox is based in Nobel Prize winning research, since the first Nobel Prize was awarded to these three professors back in 1998 for the first discovery of a signaling molecule. There have now since been multiple signaling molecules discovered, along with multiple Nobel Prizes awarded for research in this field. If you went along to pubmed.gov, which is where all peer-reviewed medical studies are published, and you typed in redox signaling, you would see well over 33,000 results. There are more than 1,500 medical textbooks that have been published on redox signaling, and this slide will already be well out of date, with around 150 studies coming out almost every single month. And so according to medical researchers, as well as reported by the Huffington Post, who specifically put ASEA into this article that I'm showing you, redox signaling is one of the fastest emerging fields in science that will shape all of our lives in the coming years. There are now multiple universities who've received tens of millions of dollars in grants to open up redox research centers. There are now global medical conferences and congresses being held about redox. Medical doctors are specializing in redox, with one such professor, a doctor at Harvard Medical School, who has a PhD and title that includes Director of Redox Medicine. Now, as for ASEA, outside of all of this, on top of all of this, already light years ahead. I'm not kidding. Check this out, for example. I mean, ASEA Redox users enjoy cell signaling benefits, as we've just discussed, which translates to health at its most foundational level. And here's just one example. ASEA Redox has been scientifically tested and shown to signal the activation of genetic pathways and affect genes that improve immune system health, help maintain a healthy inflammatory response, help maintain cardiovascular health and support arterial elasticity, improve gut health and digestive enzyme production, and modulate hormone balance to support vitality and wellness. Now, these genes are key in the health of every individual and play a vital role, not just in the 5 mentioned human health areas, but also in dozens of additional genetic pathways. Moreover, ASEA Redox has also been scientifically tested and shown to enhance your body's own production and efficiency of antioxidants by up to 800%. Further studies show that ASEA lowers oxidative stress, with the head professor of this university study saying that one of the most important effects of ASEA on disease risk factors is its ability to reduce oxidative stress. And that's significant because all degenerative health conditions are caused by oxidative stress. And from rigorous toxicology studies, ASEA is proven to be 100% safe. That's 0% toxicity. Now, how can this be? Why? Well, remember, because redox signaling molecules are native to your body. They're already in you. Your body already makes them. It's just that now your body can't make as much of them as it used to when it was younger and or healthier. And so if you have health challenges, or if you have people that you care about who do, if you have a wish that you could look, live, and feel young once again, if you have the very good sense for protecting your health because you don't want to become old and unwell, if you have a goal of having higher levels of human performance, greater athleticism, better in sport, bigger and stronger in the gym, any health goal you can think of, redox users and medical doctors are seeing just remarkable results, but you don't need to take my word for it. And on the note of medical doctors, by the way, here are some doctors right now. Let's listen to what they have to say.
Redox signaling molecules are like the DNA whisperer. They signal cells to be healthy. And because of age, because of medications, because of toxicity in the environment, you lose your ability to make the redox signaling molecules. So having them with ASEA simply replenishes what your body is doing natively when you were young. You know, I've been in the business for 40 years, and this is the first time that I've ever heard about the redox signaling molecules, which to me is a breakthrough of the 21st century, akin to the electric light bulb in the 20th century and maybe even the discovery of penicillin. Because your body is a redox signaling program, and to be able to replenish it on a day-to-day basis, internally and externally, is not just a breakthrough, it's a game changer.
Health is something we have to earn. What can I do to get to the the root of things and really prevent problems from happening? Is it possible? And the answer is yes.
You know, I think most people don't actually really consider their health until it's gone. So it's the choices that we make today that are going to determine the level of our wellness and our health and our healthy longevity tomorrow.
We want to keep people healthy. We don't want to see that deterioration. The whole process of the anti-aging and regenerative medicine that I'm so passionate about is on the premise that we can maintain energy, we can maintain health.
So prevention is key, but people need to value it. People need to understand what it is and take responsibility.
Inside every cell in your body, you're constantly producing negative and positive molecules called oxidants and reductants. And the contraction of that name is redox.
So with these molecules, we're amping up that communication. We're helping that cell signal.
Without these cell signaling molecules, we simply wouldn't do the gene replication that we need, the DNA sequencing that we need. These redox signaling molecules interact throughout the body with every cell that we know.
Every cell in our body needs these molecules for communication purposes. The more balanced they are, the more abundant they are, the healthier we are.
ASEA actually has the combination of the oxidants and the reductants that the body makes. So all we're doing with ASEA is enhancing what the body is already doing.
Having a product, a technology that's native to the body doesn't have to worry about detoxifying it because it knows exactly what to do with redox molecules. It's one of, if not the safest recommendation I ever make to a patient.
They found a way to stabilize them outside the body. You can actually put them back into bodies that are deficient in those molecules. That's a game changer.
To have something that at its molecular level is native to the body is nothing short of a breakthrough.
This is something that's foundational for health, for every cell. It affects every cell in our body. And not just the cells, but the very DNA within those cells. You know, we talk about the discovery of DNA as being a huge breakthrough, the discovery of penicillin. Yes, these were absolutely huge discoveries, but now we have something that actually goes even deeper.
This is where the future lies, and this is why redox chemistry and supplements that employ this are so powerful.
They literally turn on and turn off, signal every single process in every living cell. And to be able to stabilize a product that allows us to replenish that is just a phenomenal breakthrough.
This has the capability to change the landscape of the healthcare system as we know it.
So now that we've spoken about cellular health from the inside out, let's show you what's possible from the outside in. And that's made possible by ASEA's topical versions of redox technology. They are Renew 28 Redox Gel and Del Intensive Redox Serum. That's the two products on the right. And these redox technologies are supported and enhanced by the complementary all-natural ingredients products on the left, our gentle refining cleanser and our ultra replenishing moisturizer. Now, a picture really is worth 1,000 words. So let's just show you what our redox technologies from ASEA are worth with these amazing health, anti-aging and age reversing results. Lines and wrinkles are smoothed out. Elasticity comes back to the skin. Skin blemishes, spots, dots, marks, inflammations, irritations, aggravations, other signs of poor health to the skin being renewed. For young people too, being rejuvenated, improving the quality of life. I mean, how many more dates do you reckon this dude's getting now? And even the aftermath of some of these unfortunate conditions coming back to the proper surface of the skin. This is Rosie, and the dramatic difference that you're seeing in the first two pictures on the left could not be seen by Rosie because she did not take those pictures. Actually, Rosie believed that the products were not working. Rosie went back to see her doctor. That's who told her about ASEA and who took these pictures. And when Rosie told the doctor that the products did not work, the doctor showed these pictures and, well, I guess the rest of the story can be seen here, right? Everyone says they want to see how ASEA goes. Naturally, makes sense. But Rosie missed the moment-by-moment changes by not taking pictures, and you may miss them too. So please take pictures. That's how you see how ASEA goes. Now, some people notice results in a reasonable amount of time, 7 weeks like Rosie, and others within 7 days. And most people can actually have an experience in around about 7 minutes. However, some people need to apply more product, more time, more patience, generally when there's more going on with their health. Now, what we know scientifically is that redox signaling molecules are all the same. They're the same in you as they are in me, as they are in animals, and as they are in plants. And studies, independent studies, third-party scientific validation shows that ASEA and our Renew products contain nothing but redox signaling molecules. Now, studies also show that ASEA redox products have an immediate positive effect. They work in every single person, every single time. It would be scientifically impossible for them to not work in you and or hurt you. But what does differ from person to person is the time it takes them to notice the change. Speaking of noticing the change, this doctor did a little experiment of his own on his very own face and used Renew 28 on only half of his face and not the other. Can you spot the difference? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now, it's not just for your face. Renew 28 can be used anywhere around your body, as you can see in these pictures here. Your arms, hands, bellies. Here's some bellies here again. And bums, buttocks, thighs, and all over. Now, these pictures are actually from a study by a world-leading laboratory. This study was done because there were many reports coming in from all over the world from people saying that their cellulite had disappeared while they were using Renew 28. And so scientists set upon double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trials to see, was there any truth to these stories? What they found was after just 12 weeks, there was a 16% reduction in the appearance of cellulite. And when the scientists did ultrasounds to try and discover how this was happening, they saw that the subcutaneous fat that was causing the cellulite was actually being dissolved from the use of Renew 28. And so Renew 28 helps reduce the appearance of cellulite and wrinkles, enhancing skin texture, smoothing the skin, not just for visibly younger looking skin, but visibly looking an actual healthier skin. Renew 28 helps soothe skin discomfort after things such as shaving or sun exposure and the like. But Renew 28 is not just for the skin. It helps soothe discomfort around the body, and you can know about it in about 10 minutes. If you have some discomfort around your body, rate that discomfort on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most discomfort you could possibly experience. Apply Renew 28 on that point of hurting 3 times within just 5 minutes, and usually 9 to 10 out of every 10 people will notice a soothing or reduction of that hurting or discomfort within approximately 10 minutes. Now, nothing that I've said here today has been intended to diagnose anything that you're going through, and ASEA does not claim to treat or cure any diseases. Now, what I would like to do here before I go on, and I have things of even more life-changing significance to share with you, I truly do. Can't wait for you to see that and hear that and get a feel for that. But before I do, I really want to punctuate everything that we've gone over so far in regards to the breakthrough, in regards to the scientific validation, and in regards to some of the before and afters that you've seen there. I want you to see testimonials that are far more meaningful, that are impacting people at a far more deeper level, and really allow you to see the exclamation mark behind the word breakthrough when we use it here. And so this gentleman is my best mate. He's an Aussie living in Hawaii, and he's come from an incredibly successful life to really having the rug pulled out from underneath him when he was put into not just a health concerning situation, but a life concerning situation. I'm gonna let him elaborate on that full story, but he's come from a very severe life concerning challenge to having his life given back to him by this breakthrough, exclamation mark. He's going to put that there once you hear his story. To now he's a multi-million-dollar international success story because he is helping tens and tens and tens of thousands of people not just improve their life, but get their life back too. And so he's an ambassador Triple Diamond with ASEA, and if that means nothing to you, it's number 3 top ranking associate in the world. He is a part of the $1 Million Earners Club of ASEA, and so he's incredibly successful. He is the recipient of the ASEA Business Builder Award, Entrepreneurial Spirit Award, Emerging Leader of the Year Award, and the list goes on and on and on, but I want to save some time here so I can give him plenty. And again, everything that he has done, everything that he has been awarded, and everything that he's been rewarded in his bank account is just a direct reflection of the lives that he's touched, changed, bettered, and given back to these people whose lives were of grave concern. And so this is my best mate, Dan Doyle. Thanks very much for being here, and looking forward to hearing from you as always, sir.
Hey, thanks, Stevie. Thanks for getting up so early. And I know you've just jumped off there, but I was just going to say, from the start of your presentation and what you've gone through so far with this product, this breakthrough, this technology, what it can do for people, you've seen a massive impact on lives changed physically since you've been involved for 5.5, 6 years now. What has that part done for you? I mean, where do you think this is going as far as that part of what we have, the opportunity with what this can do for people and how big this breakthrough is? And just from your perspective, your personal perspective with being involved for such a long period of time now.
In regards to the product you're talking about?
Yeah. I mean, if it's had an impact on you, it's had an impact on your family. I know it's had an impact on your immediate family. You can see where the mainstream medical arena is going. You can see what they're pushing. You can see where their revenue is going to come from. You can see how the world's changing. And we've got something that's totally 100% non-toxic, but also the biggest breakthrough in health that we'll ever see. It's still only very, very young. There's still only 300,000 people that know about this incredible breakthrough. So as far as, what we have, and nothing can touch it, where can you see this going as far as the breakthrough is concerned?
Yeah, well, we've got something that's unique, powerful, proven, 100% safe, patented. That comes with a lot of leverage right there. And, so I'll talk about that a little later, which means nobody else has this, and nobody else can copy it. You can't get this from anywhere else. Don't be fooled by the only thing that other companies are able to compete on us right now is clever wording in their marketing. They're trying to talk like us, but they cannot walk like us, which means they can't keep up with us. So don't be fooled by clever marketing, or I should not even give them that credit. I should say tricky marketing. There is nothing else in the world like ASEA. Nothing else can do what it does. And we'll go into that a little later too. But, really, and I'll talk about this a little later too, but if this had have gone the direction that it was first intended, which was to become a mainstream medical breakthrough, pharmaceutical breakthrough, that was the only intention for this, and really what it deserved, for us to be able to all get it. Every hospital, when you go in and they put you on a IV drip, on a saline solution, it wouldn't have been saline in your situation if it was quite urgent, especially I imagine it would have been this. Every ER department, every ICU, every burn unit, every dentistry, it would have had this product available. If I could say, in my humble opinion, the environment that we found ourselves in the last 12 months maybe could have been vastly different. Maybe we could have saved more lives. Maybe we could have saved more livelihoods. We're doing that as much as we can on our level, but, really, God willing, it should have been done on a much grander scale with cooperation from the establishment of the the medical and pharmaceutical fields. Unfortunately, they felt more threatened by this than they did thrilled. They felt more threatened by this than they did thrilled. And enough of my humble opinion, because in fact my opinions aren't humbly my own. Anything that I know about this breakthrough has just come from incredible ladies and gentlemen who are far more educated than me in medicine, in health, in healthcare. We've got some extremely successful people around us, and also extremely educated people behind us who have so many letters of the alphabet behind their name that it's hard to remember just how educated and accredited they are. But this came from a medical atomic physicist who I'll mention just a little bit later on. But he said that this is the greatest breakthrough at the time, you were saying, since penicillin. But now many medical experts are coming out and saying this is the greatest breakthrough since the discovery of penicillin, since the discovery of DNA. It may be the greatest health discovery of all time. And I don't think you're likely going to see an opportunity like this in our lifetimes again. Our kids might be very lucky if they see a breakthrough like this in the future, but that might be, we don't want them to wait another 40 years for that to happen. It might not even happen until our grandchildren are able to see it. But it's been said by some very intelligent medical minds, and also some very experienced, very intelligent business minds, that if everyone knew the power of what this breakthrough was right now, this company would be bigger than Apple Computer overnight. So anyway, I talk a lot throughout this presentation, Dan. I don't want to hold it any longer.
No, you're right. And, Stevie, Dr. David Silverman basically summed up what all health practitioners and professionals are saying with, if it was a drug, it would be deemed the greatest drug of all time. I mean, we know how big it is, and we know that nutrition and antioxidants and all this stuff, which is important, is literally the last 50 years. And this is literally the next 50 years. It is foundational to our health. And as you said, there's a lot of tricky marketing with people trying to compare themselves to us, but they haven't got redox signaling molecules. They haven't got these molecules in their products. And there's a lot of products out there trying to help the body or promote or activate something within the body for the body to heal itself. A lot of great products out there, but it still isn't the thing that cuts to the chase, which is the thing that we have. Totally foundational health, and without redox, nothing works. Thanks for that insight, mate. I just wanted to bring in on that, and I'll get into my story. Thank you. So, we've got an incredible opportunity here. For anybody new on the call, as I always say, somebody has handed you an incredible gift. You have heard about redox. You have heard about AC. You've heard about this breakthrough, the biggest breakthrough in health, anti-aging, human performance in our lifetime. Nothing can compare, compete, or come close to what we have. And Stevie's going to talk about the opportunity behind the breakthrough shortly. There's people on here that haven't heard my story, and I tell it probably dozens and dozens of times a week, but happy to do so because I'm literally here because of this breakthrough. And you're going to hear my story where I came from health, total health, and financially well off, to losing my health, financially losing everything, to regaining my health, and then all our any wealth coming back at the end of the day. There is an incredible opportunity behind this breakthrough. So before I go into my story, I just want to reiterate and repeat what Stevie said in regards to the company disclaimer, that these products are not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. These aren't pharmaceutical products. We've got a supplement that is totally non-toxic, 100% non-toxic, that can signal your body to heal itself. So my story starts back in Sydney, Australia. My wife Suzanne and I are living here in Honolulu in Hawaii right now. We're based here. We sort of live in many places around the world, or we can be where we want, when we want to be, anywhere. And this is me growing up in Australia, and this is me in my 20s after playing many, many sports, but it led to bodybuilding. And the reason I'm showing you this photo is because this is the start of me being a young entrepreneur in the health and fitness industry. I was a personal trainer. I had many businesses in the health and fitness industry back then, several businesses. I had a promotional sporting company, a wholesaling business, but it was all in health and fitness, and also doing bouncing in the background, as Stevie did for many, many years in nightclubs all over Sydney, Central Coast of New South Wales, just north of Sydney. And it came with the territory of being a big guy, not tall, but a big guy. So this was an incredible start to me being a young businessman, a young entrepreneur, and not knowing where it was going at that time. I started actually selling businesses as I was building them. So I'd get them up to a point where I would sell it and then start another business. And I did that for 20 years. And I actually built and sold 20 traditional businesses in the health and fitness industry, construction industry, hospitality industry, security industry. Once you're a businessman, once you're an entrepreneur, once you're a business person, you can run any business. You can do anything you want. Back then, I thought that this is the way to go, the way to build wealth. And I did it, and I successfully did it for a long time until I turned around 44. And this is a picture of me at 44. Not a bodybuilder anymore. This is 20 years after that last photo. But this is me coming to the end of my business days. And the reason for that, and I didn't realize here, while going to the gym at 6:30 every morning and doing a lot of cardiovascular work and not having any problems with my body whatsoever, but I didn't realize here I was very, very sick. 6 months after this photo was taken in 2011, the doctors gave me some really bad news. And this is a photo of me on the right-hand side with no hair from the top of my head to my toes, going through 2.5 years in a hospital in Sydney, Australia, something that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. It was a horrendous time. My wife did an incredible job of looking after me for that period of time. I was just a couch lizard. I'd lie on the couch and demand food, and I was literally physically grey from what they were putting me through. And here I'd done a very fake smile just to get that photo, with feeling very, very sick, with a good friend of mine, Johnny Manor, who played the highest levels of rugby in Australia. Now, he'd been through all those hospital visits that I started in this photo. And unfortunately, what happened for Johnny, 21 years old here, he was in remission. His issue came back not long after this period of time. He went back into hospital. He's lost a lot of weight. He lost all his hair, and he unfortunately never came out of that hospital. We lost him at the age of 23 years young. Very, very sad time. Now, at the end of my 2.5 years of hospital visits, my doctors told me to get my affairs in order. And that was a big shock, because we were conditioned growing up. Whenever we were sick, my parents took us to the hospital, we took some medicine, and then we were better. And, you know, in my 40s, I'm thinking that was still the case. So, big lesson learned at that time. Regardless of how fit and healthy, I know to look after myself from a holistic point of view, make sure that I'm doing everything possible to keep my body running and heading in the right direction. So don't wait to lose your health to take the responsibility of your health in your own hands. Make sure you're looking after it now. That's probably the biggest recommendation that I could give, because as I said at the beginning of this presentation, you know, if you haven't got your health, you've absolutely got nothing. So it's a hard lesson learned, but anyway, the story goes, and I did get through. I did end up taking the decision of my, you know, responsibility of my health back into my own hands, and I did a lot of research. So Dr. Google came out, and I went on an alkaline diet. Alkaline diet consisted of deep sea fish, organic vegetables and salads, and some good pure water, or the best that I could find at the time. And I spent a lot of money on products from the network marketing industry. And that industry was an industry that I didn't believe in. So it was a hard pill for me to swallow to actually make purchases from those types of companies that are involved in that particular business model. But I bit the bullet, and I did that. I spent money with Zango. I was drinking a bottle of mangosteen per day, Isogenics, their product B, Live Vantage, their Protandem, their marquee product, Cellgevity from Max Products, and Kangen Water, which is very popular as well. Now, you would think with doing all that, with being on that very clean diet, that my health would have been heading in the right direction. You tell me if that was the case after 2 years of me looking after myself. This is a photo at that time. This is in 2014. My blood works were still heading in the wrong direction, no matter what the doctors did, no matter what I did, and the prognosis just was horrendous. At this point, I didn't know which way I was going to go, but a friend of mine called, and his name's Bart Cotter, and Bart Cotter, formerly from Logan, Utah, married an Australian girl, lived in Australia, picked up the phone and called me and handed me this incredible gift. And fortunately for me, I opened the gift. I flew to Salt Lake City, Utah, and I started drinking these amazing little molecules. In 3 hours, my body was expelling things so fast, I had little red spots all over my upper torso. Not annoying at all, but there were things coming out that couldn't wait till I went to the bathroom. In 12 hours, a 20-year caffeine intolerance had gone away. Any more than 2 coffees, buckled over in pain, in discomfort all day. And 2 to 3 days in on the product, this is when the light bulb went on. I had so much lung damage from what they did to me in that hospital. I had trouble breathing and talking at the same time. My lungs were functioning perfect 2 to 3 days on this product. I went back to Australia. Do you think I kept drinking this product after the experience I had in those 3 days? Absolutely, I did. The unfortunate thing was I was in a financial position. Suzanne and I were living in a van, almost went to the Salvation Army for food stamps 6 years ago, where I could only afford 1 bottle of this stuff in this blue bottle per week. And that was really what we consider the maintenance amount for someone who's 100% healthy, knowing that I probably needed at least a bottle a day. I persisted on that amount of product for a period of time. And it was really because of the business model behind the breakthrough that I started sharing this with other people, because it became a responsibility with the results that I was getting to help others, that the company started sending me thank you checks, and those thank you checks I invested back into my own health. So halfway through 2015, I did that. By December 2015, after being on a lot more product, the doctors gave me some really good news, and this is the day the doctors told me no sign of those 2 major health challenges. Not only that, multiple injuries from playing sports had gone away, they were turning into that crippling issue as people get older. 20 years of pollen problems, sneezing, runny nose, and a multitude of other issues that I had. I had a list of problems, but 2015, it was a huge change in my life. It was a big inflection point where I went from no health to total health in 12 months. My whole body was rebuilt top to bottom. If we fast forward another 2 years, and this is me on the product for 3 years, and you can see that I'm looking younger and definitely feeling a lot better again. We always like to go through these photos. 2014, 0 health. 2015, 1 year on the product, looking way better, feeling a lot better. What you're seeing in these photos, what you're seeing on the outside is a reflection of what was going on the inside at these periods of time. And then 3 years on the product, you can see my complexion. My complexion is a reflection, and is now a reflection of what's going on the inside. So that was my journey back to health, and my journey back to looking younger, feeling younger. And so it was an amazing evolution of me helping others, which in turn not only gave me the ability to buy more product, to saturate my body, to get it to the damage, to tell my body where the problem was, but also totally turned around things financially for us. Something that, well, everything I just never expected. And what it has created from a physical and financial point of view, I could never, ever have imagined or dreamed up in my wildest dreams or imaginations that we could be in the position that we are now, both from a physical and financial point of view. I believe that what we have as far as a business is the most compelling business opportunity that we will ever come across. And I've got a lot of experience in traditional business, in corporate, working for one of the big banks in Australia. There's a lot of I've done in my life. I've never seen anything like this. In these times, people are looking for something to help them physically and something to help them financially. And we've got not only that, but also a vehicle that can help them to meet a lot of people, social interaction, as much as we're not physically getting together too much these days, and help people to develop and grow as leaders as well. And with that, I'm going to hand back to Stevie Aquilina to talk about the opportunity behind this incredible breakthrough. Stevie, thanks for getting up so early again in the morning in Australia. I know you got up at 5 o'clock to do this presentation at 6 a.m. And we really appreciate you doing this week in and week out and helping educate the people that are coming onto this call that have no idea that this incredible gift is about until they hear about it today. Thanks.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. It really is. Thank you very much, Dan. All right, folks. Well, with every great breakthrough comes a great opportunity, and a series of life-changing breakthrough. So that's created a life-changing opportunity behind all of it. That is to make a living while bettering people's lives. And as for the product, again, the ASEA is the world's first and only redox signaling supplement for two very simple reasons. One, for nearly 3 decades now, no one other than just one man, Dr. Gary L. Samuelson, medical atomic physicist, has been able to figure out how to create and stabilize redox signaling molecules outside of the body. You know, for the 2 decades before Dr. Samuelson's breakthrough work, science had declared that this was impossible. And two, ASEA is heavily patented. But not only is ASEA not allowed to be copied, ASEA can't be copied. Because there's no way to be able to look into a bottle of ASEA and figure out how to reverse engineer it from there, because there are trade secrets in the making of ASEA. Not in the bottle, in the making of it. And so it can't be copied. That means we have no copycats. That means we have no competition. That means no one in the world has what ASEA has, no one. That means no other products in the world can do what ASEA does, none of them. Nothing else in the body can get, nothing else in the world, I should say, can get to the depth and level of achievement in the human body as what ASEA can. Because redox works in everybody. Everybody needs redox because nothing in the body works as well or at all, in fact, without redox. And redox can't hurt anybody. No other products can make that claim. No juice, pill, super shake, fancy water, CBD oil, or whatever it might be. And so none of them are redox. And so ASEA holds massive opportunities across all health science sectors, whether it be healthcare wellness, sports science, athletic performance, beauty, skincare, aging, longevity. These are multi-trillion-dollar industries. And again, anything in this industry can't work as well or at all without redox signaling molecules. And so enhancing redox signaling molecules in the body first and foremost makes the most sense. It's logical, it's scientific. And so because ASEA is the only company in the world that the world can get a redox supplement from, ASEA is an entrepreneur's dream. Our mission here at ASEA is to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. We can't do that on our own. And so we look for people to help spread the word. And ASEA gives you the opportunity to be paid money from them just by sharing their products, just by sharing redox with others. So if you're looking for either an extra, part-time, full-time, big time, or even a legacy leaving income for loved ones, for people who have dreams of a better life, income, lifestyle, there are levels of commissions to meet whatever levels of ambitions to be able to afford making your goals, dreams, and desires a reality. And ASEA helps you create income that is both residual and leveraged. Now, you receive a residual income. That's the income that comes in again and again and again and again and again and again and again from the first, not just the first, but all of the repeated purchases made by everyone you refer to ASEA. And because you can refer as many people as you like, and because they can make as many repeat purchases as they like, the residual income potential is unlimited. On top, you also receive unlimited leveraged residual income. What do I mean by that from leveraged residual income? Well, you also receive income from the residual purchases made by every single person, your contacts, and others also refer. And what I mean by leveraged is that as other people tell other people, and there's no limits to how far and wide these referrals can go, far, wide, deep around the world, you get paid from all of those purchases too. Just like when you recommend a good movie, TV series, restaurant, cafe, book, food, homewares, beauty products, etc., 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 people tell people who then tell even more people, and it goes on and on and on. And in this case, you get paid for all of that. Now, word of mouth is the oldest and still today, #1, most powerful and effective and trusted form of marketing in the world. Nothing beats it. There's no limits, especially with how connected the world is today. Word spreads worldwide. And ASEA is currently in 35 countries. There's still hundreds to go. And we're opening new markets every year. And based on existing trends, the annual turnover is projected to exceed $500 million in the next 5 years. Now, if you really understood residual income, you would walk through a brick wall to get it. If you came from my background, though, you'd probably be willing to crawl through broken glass and then still have to get up and run through a brick wall if you had to get it. Now, residual income is very impressive. It's very cool, but more so, it's very important. You have residual bills, but do you have residual income to keep up with that? And here's an example that should allow you to take it more seriously here, because do you know what happens to most people by the time they're 65? Here's some statistics that should be eye-opening. Out of every 100 people, only one of them is wealthy. Only 3 are financially secure. 7 must still work to survive at 65. And they're not working because they want to, by the way. They're working because they have to. They're a slave to the dollar. 65 years worth of that. And 74 out of every 100 people are dependent on welfare by 65. And so what's going wrong? What's one of the main financial principles that the top 4% seem to have figured out that the other 81%, nice to be one of them, by the way, don't? It's this, for one thing. It's how to make money that is no longer dependent on our paid by the hour, selling our precious time for money, our labor or own activity intensive job. In my case, JOB used to stand for just over broke, if that. It's called active income. And look, in all seriousness, the truth is, sooner or later, you won't be able to be as active as you are right now. I pray it's not sooner rather than later. And for many people, more than ever right now, it's been sooner and completely unexpected. But you won't be able to be as active as you are right now, and therefore you won't be able to have as much active income as you have right now. And this may even be more concerning if you're thinking, well, my active income already isn't enough as it is, or in the last 6 months, it's already taken a 50% slash. Now, this is a very big problem, but it always has been. 81% of people have been getting trapped in this for many decades. Money is an excellent servant, but a terrible master. And so if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will be a slave for money until you die. Now, I'm not saying jobs are bad. They're a good place to start for most of us. And if you truly do love your job, keep it. Probably lucky to have it in this current economy, and you're blessed. But still, find a way to make money outside of your job that won't interfere with what you're currently doing, because only relying on a single source of active income is not smart and dangerous to your financial security. So for people who are smart, who've been wanting to be in the right place at the right time, who are able to recognize a good thing, who decide to take control of their finances, of their security, of their freedom, for people who aren't happy with the amount of money that they have or how they have to make it, for people who have dreams and want a better life, ASEA is an opportunity to be paid a significant residual income from making a significant difference in people's lives from the inevitable growth of its global expansion, to afford you those dreams, give you that real freedom. There's nothing better than making a living from bettering people's lives. That's what you get to do with ASEA. And it's who we become and what we do that is the biggest reward over and above any riches it will make us. Now, you can make great money here, really great money, that's for sure. And you can even be rewarded on top with all expenses paid trips to 5-star luxury locations around the world, all around the world. Have a really great time, meeting great people, making great friends, having great experiences, and a really great lifestyle. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's the effect we have on others that is one of the most valuable currencies there is. And that is the heart of ASEA. And it was demonstrated because the truth is, after big pharmaceutical companies were shown tens of millions of dollars, 17 years worth of powerful research, clinical studies proving ASEA, those big drug companies offered to pay huge sums of money for the sole and exclusive rights to the ASEA Redox technology. However, they wanted ASEA to shut down and to take everyone off Redox. But thankfully, the founders of ASEA, Vertus Norton and his son Tyler, had the great foresight to see grave concerns and consequences in such a deal. Because Vertus and Tyler saw people who went from severe health challenges that once left them and their doctors feeling hopeless to then experiencing life-changing power from Redox. And when Vertus and Tyler saw this, they were filled with a great sense of purpose and responsibility to get this breakthrough for humanity out to the world. And so Vertus and Tyler felt that they couldn't in good conscience sell out, and that's why they didn't. They said no to the payout and yes to the people. For Vertus and Tyler, what had once started out as just a very big business play had now become more. The ASEA founders turned down the huge sum of money from big pharmaceutical companies, deciding to go the supplement route rather than the drug route, in order to expedite the availability of this technology globally, making it available immediately to everyone without a prescription. And one of ASEA's foremost guiding principles was demonstrated here, as is perpetually demonstrated in every decision they make, and that is to always put people and principles before ego and economics. Now, the ASEA founders and corporate team come from big backgrounds, up to Fortune 50 backgrounds. They're exceptionally experienced in running very big, profitable, famous household name companies, but their corporate soul revolves around putting people first, having an impact, making a difference, helping others to believe, belong, and become more, and to be a force for good in the world. So you're in very good hands. Get back with the person who shared this with you and let them know what stood out to you the most. If you have any questions, ask them. They can point to where you can find the answers easily. Plenty of university studies, but most importantly, there's hundreds of thousands of real people's life-changing redox experiences, like Dan's and more, for you to see the series The Real Deal. So if you want to be happier and healthier, if you want to live younger, longer, stronger, you may just want to become an ASEA customer. However, if you have dreams and desires, if you want to be, do, have, and able to give more, if you want to help people be happier and healthier, if you want a better life, income, lifestyle, if you want that for others too, if you want to increase the prosperity of the planet, if you want to make a difference in the world, become part of this redox reality and you can become more. If you'll just pass this information on for many, many others, as someone has done for you, you can and you will better the lives of many, many others. And your life will also become better in many, many ways. So thank you very much for spending this time with me. May you always be happy and well. And Dan, thank you so much for being here and spending your valuable time with us and giving us your priceless wisdom.
No, thank you, mate. Thanks for the presentation. Thank you for getting up so early. Guys, I just want to let you know that Stevie and I will be back on the next call Monday, Tuesday next week. The first call is Monday US, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. Hawaiian time. On Monday, which is Tuesday in Australia and Asia. So we've got Queensland, 11 a.m. and New South Wales, 12 p.m. and Western Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines at 9 a.m. So that's our next call, Monday, Tuesday next week, and then we have call on Tuesday, Wednesday next week, depending on what time zone you're in. Stevie, thank you so much again. Thank you everybody for attending our call. Have an incredible day, weekend, wherever you are in the world, and we're looking forward to catch up with you soon. Make sure anybody who's on the call who is a guest, go back to the person who introduced you and make sure that you get access to the right product and don't buy through any rogue sellers that are on other platforms, because more than likely you are going to be ripped off. So go back to the person who introduced you and they'll be able to organize a wholesale account to get access to the product for personal use and also help you if you want to share this with others. Thank you very much. Stay blessed.